Pencil neck son of a bitch.
Hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 103 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the #1 Canadian television review podcast. We're recording on Monday, October 23rd, 2017.
Hi, I'm Tim, a sports shooter and father of 3 and the owner and operator of Tim's Good T-shirts. They're quite good, and I am also the descendant of beer-drinking immigrants.
I'm Gavin, business owner, gun enthusiast, hunter, atheist, and host of the Greater Toronto Area chapter of the Tactical Beard Owners Club.
I'm Matt, longtime listener, first-time caller, and also a sports shooter and heavy equipment operator in Southern Ontario.
I'm also Matt. I'm an American. I am a woke libertarian who's passionate about the U.S. Constitution, the care of veterans, not just in the States, but also in Canada, and really all around the world, and the safe future for the progeny of for his progeny, and I am not a big fan of BBC.
They're a terrible news network. Terrible.
Marty, hunter, sports shooter in rural Southern Ontario.
As always, my name is Andrew. I'm a recovering libertarian, a competitive shooter, and a firearms instructor at Ragnarok Tactical.
Then we'd love to hear your feedback about the show, so please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Edited version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes. That, and keep sending us your 5-star iTunes reviews. Whether you like us or not, we want those 5-star reviews. In fact, we like it more if you hate us, so send us your hate mail too while you're at it. It fuels us.
All right, and you can check out the podcast at facebook.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast or Instagram at instagram.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast.
We need your help to support the show. Visit www.patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get the uncensored audio version of the show for just $1 per episode, and the more you pledge, the better the rewards are.
All right, let's do What Are We Drinking? This is my favorite part of the podcast. It's where we talk about what we're drinking. Tonight we're going to start with Gavin. Gavin, what are you drinking?
Pretty straightforward.
I'm not familiar with that brand of alcohol.
Jack Daniels. It's delicious.
I just heard you say pretty straightforward, and then it was just quiet.
Sorry, I guess there's a bit of a delay on my end. But yeah, no, I was
skipped
drinking
the order.
Jack Daniels, and I think I found the last dash of Cherry Coke Zero in Mississauga. So,
is that getting canceled up there?
I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah.
But I don't want to drink it because I don't want it to be all gone. But at the same time, drinking.
Fair enough. Marty, what are you drinking?
Liquorman's Old Dirty Canadian Whiskey and Coke Zero.
I'm drinking Paulaner Oktoberfest, and technically it's a Munich lager, and I'm also drinking a local Vienna lager from a nearby brewery about a half mile from my hotel. I'm up in Maryland, by the way, this year, or not this year, but this week, and I got to try to get the local stuff this time.
Getting his legalese on.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Canadian Matt, what are you drinking?
Drinking Bacardi, Oakheart, and Coke.
Nice.
All right.
You skipped
Is it
and
Coke or is it Coke Zero? I didn't skip, Andrew. I go last.
Not according to the notes, bro. Anyway.
Tim, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking my favorite 40 Creek Copper Pot with reverse osmosis water.
No fluoride for these people.
No.
Purity of essence.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Me neither, Alex.
Purity of essence. Of pure essence.
Got to get all the zinc.
All the zinc. This also helps with your zinc content. Pure German beer. Imported from the fatherland.
That's one of the hidden rules in the very Puritan law is you actually add zinc to your beer.
Extra zinc content? Oh, it's got to be. I think I have beer in both. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'm drinking Crown Royal Black with ice cubes because whiskey. We're back on the keto train.
Nice.
sort of.
Is there
Yeah, I gotta
Crown
get
Royal White available? I'm just curious. Like, what would that be? Would that be actual zinc dissolved into the Crown Royal, as opposed
I
to
actually-
like welfare
Entirely
checks dissolved into the Crown Royal?
I do actually have a bottle of white whiskey. It's called White Owl.
Oh well, yeah. No, I love white whiskey.
It's pretty dangerous.
Basically, yeah, it's unaged, and there, dude. I had an unaged white whiskey from Utah, and it was like, I think 110 proof. No, 120 proof.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so that's what we're drinking. Andrew, what are we doing next, bro? I don't want to steal the show. I said I wouldn't be too invasive and ridiculous tonight. So
Yeah, we didn't believe you anyway, Matt.
Yeah.
well,
Don't make promises you can't keep.
All right, let's do the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot recap.
let's hear this.
So, as
I'm
everyone
proud of
is
you
likely
boys.
aware,
I'm proud of y'all. Really happy to have
had
you as
our-
friends.
should we sing Kumbaya and shit? Do you want a hug?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying no. Like,
Can we all hold hands first?
I just wanted to say it before you guys get into it because I'll be quiet for a little while you talk about it. I just want to say this is the type of shit that gun communities are actually about, because most people that are involved in gun communities and that are firearms owners are genuine giving people and care the fuck about other people. And that's what the media doesn't want people to know. We care enough about other people to try to raise money for them, to help them out, and to do shit for them. And that says something where if shit ever hit the fan, like, that's how giving we are. We're going to stand up for each other, and we'll stand up against tyranny, and that should scare the fuck out of the mainstream. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I want to hear about this charity shoot. I'm excited about it. It sounds like an awesome time. I hope to make it next year.
Yeah,
So
this
I
is
would
how
say
the
that
roads
we,
get built without the government.
Yeah.
This is how you would build roads without the government. Everything would still happen, just without the government.
Yep.
Well, no,
So
no, no,
I'm
not
happy to-
not everything would happen. There's a whole lot of theft that would not happen.
That's a true story.
Well, wait a minute. Wouldn't prosperity rise?
Probably. A lot of things would rise.
The amount of prosperity would be inversely proportional to the amount of communists thrown out of helicopters. What I'm saying is, if we physically remove the communists, we'll be prosperous.
Is that like one of those math problems where it's like, you know, Sally's driving in a car at 50 kilometers in this way, but like, you know, John is in a helicopter going over the Bay of Santiago at this rate, and a communist falls, and I think there's something in there somewhere. I don't know. I remember taking a class like that in university.
So I would say that this weekend we thoroughly fucked cancer for the second time in a row.
Yep.
I'm just rolling right over your thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had 43 shooters in attendance, and I think the first story is going to come from Tim, because what's a charity shoot without a little bit of law enforcement involvement?
Exactly.
Well, Tim, why don't you say who you did the shoot for? Because I got some family listening right now, actually, and they want to hear it. No bullshit. They do.
Okay.
Tell a quick overview of what this charity shoot was. Like, it's an awesome thing, dude.
This was a
No bullshit. No bullshit.
No, this is a charity, and we do it for someone affected by cancer or a family affected by cancer. This year, as a beneficiary, we chose a good friend of mine. This is a guy who I've known since he was like we were young and teenagers, and he was the best man at my wedding, and a real solid dude. Everyone who meets him gets along with the guy, unless they're like an asshole or like, you know, a communist. And
Their last name starts with CNNs and
Yeah. So Scott was driving home one day, and he had a sore spot on his neck and shoulder area, and he reached up and touched the spot, and he said like it really hurt, and he mentioned it to his sister, and she said, you got to get that checked out, and they checked it out, and luckily it was caught and taken seriously quickly enough, because he had a very rare form of cancer. I think it's medullary thyroid cancer. And there are some thyroid cancers where like the cancer will stay in your lymph nodes and stuff like that and just sit there and do nothing, like basically for a long time. But this is a very fast spreading and aggressive cancer, and in 5 weeks, within 5 weeks, he was like, they checked him all out and had an action plan, and they ended up removing his thyroid and 76 lymph nodes and 2 of his parathyroids. And then after that, he was given 35 radiation treatments, which left his lungs with chronic inflammation. And he's lost 1/3 of the range of motion of his neck. The tumor went like 74% of the way around his neck, and they almost had to like crack and spread his ribs to go in and get it. But they were prepared to do that, but luckily they didn't have to do that kind of thing. So one thing he pointed out that I just never really thought of, but he's lost a lot of the different parts of his voice. He can only talk like at a very specific tone at a very specific level. He can't really yell anymore and stuff like that. So he's probably not going to be seen on Alex Jones in the next little while.
That's still, it's that. And
So
a side note, the dude is a fucking wizard on the barbecue for
he's
real.
a wizard with the smoker. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Even those burgers, like
Mhm.
he didn't do nothing special to him, but like they were just cooked just right. Like
Care. The guy, yeah, with care.
Yeah, I remember at the podcasters charity shoot, like the hockey pucks that were served, and by comparison, this was gourmet.
Well, the first few that were served when I cooked them were pretty good. They were hockey pucks after I had to leave, so I could actually shoot some more. But just as a disclaimer,
Yeah, I was referring to Andrew's skills of the barbecue.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think
Dick Liquor actual is not
yeah.
barbecue actual apparently.
I think in Andrew's defense, he was just trying to get us to eat some carbon, so to absorb like chemicals in the water that would
the
be in our
fluoride,
stomach. Yeah,
fluoride.
and stuff.
It's
He was
important.
looking out for us.
But yeah, no, I just got to say, man, it's so badass that the community is ready to come together to help somebody out like that, because I think all of us, can at this point in our age, we're older folks, at least somewhat older. We're not we're not 18, 21. So we can imagine, you ever get that kind of diagnosis, and you got to think you get that group of people to come together for your cause, for you, he's got to appreciate it, and it's got to mean the world to him. And I think that's what being a community is all about. And whether it's a gun community and other communities that we may talk about on our podcast, or, your podcast or my podcast and community, we talk about different kinds of communities, and you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get into it, but I think that's what it's all about. And it's about taking care of each other, and it's about a familiar type of relationship. And I think it's really important because that kind of support, you got to think that psychological support, that, it can help somebody make it through a day, just simply, you know what I mean? It's so cool to see that. And I'm just really proud to be your friends and know you guys, that you guys have been doing this for 2 years now, and it's badass. And I think it's time, next year, we got to figure it out to bring it to the States as well, and make it a continental thing, the fuck cancer charity shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we should grow it for sure.
All right,
And,
so
and it wasn't easy.
circling back, Tim.
Circling back, it was Scott himself was
the
running the
cops.
barbecue, and they sent a police officer through. A female officer came in and he called it the ghost car.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did you just assume that officer's gender?
Yeah, I did. I'm half a
Okay.
boomer.
I was just checking.
Yeah.
that's inappropriate.
So the whatever gender this officer was assuming, this girl-bodied police officer drove this ghost car in, and unmarked with a dark tint or whatever, and just kind of cruised in and around and kind of stuff. And then Scott was running the barbecue, and apparently he kind of went up and said hey, how's it going? What's going on? And then she said, well, what's going on here? The neighbors are complaining. It sounds like there's a war going on. And it's a good thing I wasn't there.
Apparently,
The first thing out
apparently
of
they
my
didn't see
mouth.
the sign that says gun club.
Yeah. The first thing I would have said, no. The war starts at 5.
I thought it started on
This is
November
just
4th.
practice.
Yeah, this is practice. Firing rates. So then he said, that we're doing like a cancer charity shoot and blah blah blah, and it was like, okay, well, there's been some complaints from the neighbors, and he's just like, well, you're gonna come in and do some shooting. He said the plate rack's right there. Why don't you come and give it a go? And she said, like, again, like, sorry to assume the gender. This officer said, I would love to, and then they left. So that's that. Seems to be a trend.
At least no one got arrested or thrown on the ground or, any of the other
when
things
we got
that we've had
thrown on the
to-
ground and when we got pinned and like knees in our backs and cuffed and stuff, we offered them to come to the chair. They didn't show up, I guess, but we told them where it was and we offered, and we shook hands after the detainment was over, etc. I'm just saying, like, there's no reason why they couldn't have come out to the charity shoot. I mean,
yeah, similarly,
But
it's the same situation. It's police are doing their job. Somebody overreacted and called it in. They had to show up and just see what it was, and it is what it is.
So we had,
of course.
Scott, because he's such a wizard with the meat preparation. He was we had cheeseburgers, like the same good cheeseburgers that everyone gave such good reviews to at the podcaster charity shoot. And he ran the barbecue, and he had also smoked like a pork butt the day before, and like
nice.
low and slow, and he broke this thing down. And he said sent me pictures the day before. He was like, man, this thing pulled itself apart. And it was just like this really succulent smoked pork that so like if you bought $5, you got a cheeseburger and a pop and a bag of chips, and for like another $2 bonus, you get smoked pulled pork on your cheeseburger, and it was really nice. I really liked that.
That sounds delicious.
He was able to put
Dude,
his
it was
mark on the shoot
unreal.
that way. It was amazing. Yeah.
I like the barbecue sauce, the homemade barbecue sauce that went with the awesome pork.
Did you have the Carolina sauce or the red one or the yellow?
Yeah, what was the style of the sauce? Was it a vinegar or mustard based, or what kind of?
I think the Carolina had mustard in it. I guess you call it a mustard base, but it didn't really. It was just a really nice. It wasn't overdone or anything. It was really subtle but still flavorful. But it wasn't overpowered by anything. It was a really well balanced sauce. Both of the sauces that he had.
I would call it more a finishing sauce if you're into smoking.
Okay. Nice dead air there, but it does sound like an amazing charity shoot.
I think we're all just like,
We're all thinking about those burgers. So like,
I know.
Pulled
Yeah.
pork is so good.
We're all crying.
Yeah.
What do we got next, Andrew? Oh, yeah,
I
we're
was
gonna
thinking
do a
we
stage
could talk
review.
about this.
Right?
Yeah.
The document. I'm not trying to hide it,
So I guess why don't we do this by RO? The person that RO'd the stage can talk about the stage. Do we have? Oh, we almost have enough people. Tim, you'll have to fill in for the pistol stage.
Okay.
Nobody cares about that shit.
all right, sure. I'll start off seeing as I have the first two stages. First stage was precision. You had 15 sort of inch and a half shapes at 50 yards. You had 100 seconds to fire 15 rounds at the 15 shapes, and it was scored, hit, 1 point for every shape that you hit. So that every shot, sort of a common firing line, that was a pretty quick stage, pretty straightforward, challenging, I'd say, for anyone that didn't have an optic. So iron sight guys at 50 yards were really struggling with that one. But if you had an optic, there's really no reason you shouldn't have been, more than half at the very least. You should be getting 10, 12 out of 15 at 50. Next stage after that was carbine, which was sort of typical action rifle stage, shooting through ports. So you'd start off, you had to pull a rope, which you engage a swinger. You fired 2 shots at that swinger, which is at about 50 yards. and then you would move forward, engaging targets along the way, and you had an opportunity to re-engage that swinger at the very end. You'd have to kind of run around a barricade, which would add a bit of time if you chose to re-engage it. So just a general general carbine course, which was fun course.
Nice.
All right, Tim, I guess that makes you up for pistol.
Okay, and then we had a pistol stage, and we can't thank Tyler Gerard enough. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday night. He was struck by some inspiration and motivation at the same time, and he whipped up about 16 walls and sections with shooting ports and snow fence and barricades, and he stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning making those, and then brought them all down to this dump trailer. And he had some interesting stages. That's what everyone ran through in the carbine and the pistol stages. So the pistol stage was set up so you would start off, and I believe you would fire at a target, then you would run up to a barricade shooting port on the right, and you would engage a target through that shooting port, and then you would kind of go off downrange and to your left, and you'd engage some targets through another shooting port, and then again you would do that one more time to the right, and then we would step up to Tyler's famous helicopter prop, which is it's a platform suspended on 4 chains, and you had to go up onto there, and there was 3 barrels high in front of that, and you would have to engage targets on either side of those barrels. So as you moved side to side, the platform would rock slightly and distract shooters and whatnot, and just kind of raise the skill level to be able to complete that stage in a good time. So very engaging stage. Tyler designed that one, and he RSO'd it with his fiance, and they did quite well with it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I really liked it.
All right, Gavin, you want to go through the shotgun?
Yeah, I guess
Gavin and Matt.
for the most part, Tim came in and helped for a little bit so that we could both go and eat some delicious burgers with pork on them. I really liked the shotgun stage. I thought it was super fun to shoot, as I think most people did. Because I don't think a lot of people get to shoot shotgun stages, right? There's a lot of pistol and a lot of rifle stages, but I don't know, unless you're like in OAS, like Andrew, Matt, and Marty and I and Tyler, you don't shoot a lot of action shotgun per se. Yeah, you basically started, you had to shoot a door open. You'd go through, and then there'd be some clays on your right-hand side, some more steel targets on your right-hand side, another bank of steel targets on your left, a single clay, and then a Texas Star that you had to engage. So a little mix of everything, kind of a shooting gallery-ish.
Nice.
But super fun. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think the best score was 24 seconds on that one.
I know there was a 26 for sure.
Yeah, there was a 26 for sure. I think that was you, Marty, wasn't it? 26?
No, I came in at 29.
Ooh, maybe you're third then.
Tyler, maybe?
No,
was a
Tyler
26.
was Tyler. I think it was one of the full auto guys, because
I think
Tyler
Tom
said he
shot
was...
at 24.
I think Marty came in first.
Well, the scores don't matter. So, Marty, you win. Hey.
The scores always matter. Everything in life is a competition. Anyone else that tells you otherwise is a liar or a communist, which is a special kind of liar.
The worst kind.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tim has the score. So, was there not anybody that had 26 or whatever?
I'm looking shotgun. Marty, you got 29.50.
Yeah.
So do you guys have all the scores ready, or you just
Tomo got 26.39.
Yeah,
So
I thought there was one of those guys.
winners yet, or
We haven't announced them yet. We like to make them.
We know some of the winners. I can tell you, came in second on the plate rack when we get that far.
Yeah.
Tyler beat Marty by 0.38 seconds.
You know who the real winner is?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Scott. And everyone else that came together and fucked cancer.
Yeah, we're all winners. We're
Yeah,
all
so
heroes.
what are we on, stage 4 or stage 5?
Did we finish the shotgun stage?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say that. I mean, I don't know.
Matt, did you have anything
to
you
add
wanted to add about the shotgun?
I was going to say the best thing for me from shooting OAS and then going to this is with no stage walkthrough, it was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
So nobody knew what to expect other than, I mean, we told them there was some targets to the right so that we didn't have anybody below 90 first through the door. And other than that, have fun and figure it out as you go, which I think is the best
Yeah,
part
so
of it.
I thought that was unique as well. Similar coming from OAS, I think normally you get a walkthrough and you get a chance to kind of plan everything out. So I was shooting it as a staff at the end of the day. And from the range I was ROing, I didn't get a chance to see what was going on over there, so I didn't know this stage is being shot blind. And so I just kind of walked over there and like, well, I guess you might as well just go right now. I'm like, all right, I haven't had a chance to walk through it yet. And I took like 2 steps forward, and there's about 20 people that's going, no, like just stopping me from running forward. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? They're like, no, like you gotta do it blind. Like,
Yeah, no, that
uh,
was kind of awesome though, throwing people for a loop like that with like, yeah, the stage walkthrough there is no stage walkthrough. Have fun, go.
But kind of
Like what?
it kind of reminds me of like our club and with defensive pistol. What we did is like we got to a certain point where we made these like 2 big tarp walls, and you would set up the barricades and set up the tarp walls, and you just like say to a shooter, like not a new shooter, but you would say to like a seasoned shooter, and say, all right, like you know the rules, go sort that shit out, you know.
I think for a defensive pistol, it makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
No,
Every
except for
target-
that
every
kind of
target
stuff,
gets
exactly.
Yeah, every target gets 2 hits. That's
Well, and I mean, defensive pistol is supposed to be sort of a more real world example where you don't know what the shit is going on. It's like everything's cool, then all of a sudden it's not.
yeah.
So there, like, if you give too much of a description, it's like, okay, that's not very
Well, I
realistic.
think now it's time to talk about the most important stage of the match.
The only stage that matters, and not just because I was ROing it, but also because I was ROing it, and then came in second. I'm jumping ahead of myself. The plate rack stage is exactly what it sounds like. We had a plate rack. There are 5 plates. They're approximately 8 inches in diameter. They're in a circular shape-ish. And starting at 15 yards with an unloaded handgun and at least 1 magazine on the table, any other number of magazines in any position that you want. Both palms on the table. On the audible, engage the targets to your front. Unlimited round count, unlimited time. And I did it in 5.92 seconds and was very proud of myself until I told Marty. And then Marty said that he was going to go and beat me. And he was taking our friend Jeff to witness him, I guess. So I respectfully requested that he took someone else trustworthy, just in case.
Now, when he did that, was
So
it
how
like
many-
in Mad Max where he's like, "Witness me," and then like sprayed silver spray paint on his face?
Yeah.
I like
So-
to imagine that's how it happened. Was that an accurate assessment, Marty? Did you silver spray paint yourself?
Well, of course, but I did that earlier in the day.
He's Dutch, so it was
Fair.
wooden silver spray paint.
Fair.
So Jeff and I were actually not even planning on shooting the plate rack, but Andrew came over and went, "I won the plate rack." And we're like, but
That was your biggest
Nobody
mistake
else-
ever, right there.
yeah, we're like, a bunch of us haven't even shot it yet. And he's, "Doesn't matter. I won. I shot it in Actually, at that point, you thought it was 5.7, so but 5.9 seconds. And so Jeff and I were like, well, now we have to shoot it. We actually weren't even planning on shooting it because we were just like commenting about how, like, it's kind of tired and we've been out all day, like, not going to worry about it. We're like, "What? Motherfucker, all right, now I got to go beat him." And so, yeah, in the
Fair.
meantime, Andrew and I had been commencing shit talking about how I was going to beat his time. So when I went over, there was a good group of people that came with me. Matt, I think you came over at that point too, didn't you?
Yeah, I came over and went, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, spend all my money like the last time at a plate rack, so I left my gun in the car,
Yeah. Yeah.
which didn't work
So
out. 'cause
Andrew
I just
had-
handed it to Tim later that night.
So Andrew had the fast time of the day at 5.9 seconds, and now you had one run at the plate rack, and Andrew did this same thing. He did it on his very first run, cleaned the plate rack in 5.9 seconds. So same thing, was just learning about it as I went. I assumed you had a few runs at it, and also learned, okay, it's one run, first try, it's got to make it count.
Sudden
I was able to clean the plate
death.
rack in. Yeah. My time came in at 4.84 seconds, I believe. So
Whoa. If I
I
recall, that is
respectfully
better,
decline.
even better than the podcast. Shoot.
no,
I
but
can totally check
No.
that.
4.8.
No,
4.8.
Furlot
I did
it
it on my
4.6.
4.84.
correct. But I did it on my
So
very
damn
first
close.
run, one attempt only. Whereas
Yeah, so
Furlot
damn
spent
close.
like $50 to get it to that point, to get to 4.6.
And Scott's friend Trevor that came with him, and he did pretty well as a beginner shooter in that, and he just thought that was fantastic. He had a real blast. It was good to see and meet him. Scott, I think the only thing he did shoot was the plate rack, just because of the the trouble he has with his neck and shoulders. He didn't want to shoot anything. He couldn't really shoot anything that recoiled or was jarring or anything like that. But he did enjoy the plate rack. Got some
Yeah, he took his time. I got my pistol and gave a couple of runs at it, which was great to see.
I'm not sure if that was my internet, but I'm going to guess it was Marty's. You
I think it
sounded
was
like
Marty's.
a robot under the sea.
Yeah, just saying. He came over. He at the end of the day, he shot my pistol at the plate rack and did really well.
All right. Tim, do you want to read the thank you letter?
Oh, geez, yeah. It's a real nice thank you letter. It blew me away when I read it. I almost did a man tear,
The single tier.
But not quite.
single man tear. And I was thinking, well, Pepe does a man tear once in a
cutting
while.
onions. Well, and if you ever find yourself thinking about Harambe, it's kind of acceptable. But anyway,
Don't even start me on that, Matt. I was just in Cincinnati.
yeah, it's gonna
Tugging at the
happen. It's gonna
heartstrings here
hit you
already,
hard,
talking about
man. It'll hit you
Just,
hard.
We just got Gavin calm down, Matt, and then you come and pull that shit.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know.
I want to hear this.
Okay. This is I got it, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, were you going to do a thank you that I could read online?" He's like, "Yeah, I emailed you last night." I was like, "Oh." Okay. So
That'll
I
teach
checked
you.
my email, and
Oops.
the
You
subject was
fucking-
"Thanks for helping me fuck cancer, buddy."
I like this guy already.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he said, "Hey Tim, I just wanted to write something out so you could read it on tomorrow's podcast or not. Don't read this part." Oh shit. Okay. Here you go.
I'm not
just
even going to fix that in post. That's
No, I
negative.
know. Jeez. Okay. I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank everyone involved in making yesterday happen. To be honest, I had no idea what I was getting involved in, or what I should have expected with yesterday's event. I had never stepped foot on a range or been at a gun club in my life. My only friend who is involved in clubs and shooting is Tim. I tried to encourage most of my friends into coming with me, but sadly their preconceived notions of gun culture and negative press as of late kept them away. I was, however, able to bring Trevor, who all of you met. He had never fired a gun before, but was interested in meeting everyone and trying something new. We both had an amazing time, and we'll remember for a long time to come. I can't say enough about the caliber of people we had the pleasure of meeting. There were no egos, just a bunch of super friendly people excited to show a couple of newcomers how to navigate their way around the stages and the equipment. As I said to Trevor, if you show up on a golf course and you are inexperienced, you are immediately the most hated person in the group and on the course. And this was not the case at all on Saturday. Everyone was extremely patient and willing to lend a hand and their equipment. We both hope to be able to come out and help in your next charity shoot. I'm still taken back and overwhelmed by everyone's generosity and Tim's decision to put my name forward for this year's Fuck Cancer charity shoot. It means a great deal to me, and I have friends willing to go through such lengths to lend a hand. That I have friends willing to go through such lengths to lend a hand to my situation. Those closest to me know what a financial hit it has been to fall ill with cancer while self-employed. There were no social safety nets to help me through, just a checking account, a savings account, and then lines of credit. I was then able to work for the better part of a year and a half, and even now, as I start the slow climb out, I'm unable to work at the speed and consistency I used to. I'm still learning how to I fit back in the profession I once was so comfortable in, especially since I get run down so easily and fall ill with every sickness that I come into contact with. The money that you guys were so gracious to raise for me will go a long way of paying down the debt I incurred, and again, I can't thank you all enough. If there's any positive aspect to this absolutely shitty disease, is that you get to witness firsthand the amazing hearts and generosity of the people around you. It's humbling, inspiring, and overwhelming to say the least. Thank you. So
I don't even know how we follow that. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, that's the show. You can tune in on Monday night. No, I got
to bed.
For that.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as much as I love being with in the community and growing the community and being on the shoot and enjoying the time, like that was really what the what it was all about, was helping a guy out.
Well, exactly, right. And I mean, I'm sure, even though we did an awesome job, I'm sure we all would have loved to have been able to do more. But I think the biggest thing is just the positive, personal impact that it's had, just like uplifting his spirits a little bit, knowing that like there's still people that are in his corner, even people that he doesn't know, that are rooting for him and want him to succeed and do well despite the shitty circumstances and all of that. Like, and I mean, talking with you, in the hotel and on the drive there and everything, like that dude's like, it's been through more than just like the whole fucking cancer deal. Like that, you were talking about like his parking fee to go, and like that's fucking retarded.
Yeah, that was I didn't really know. I'm glad you brought it up, because I want to be known, but I didn't know how to broach that, because we just had this whole, the letter, it was such a positive and kind of sobering thing, but he was telling us at the pub night, and I wish I had known beforehand, so I could have mentioned that on the podcast coming up to it. But he spent, like, during his radiation treatments alone, he spent, I think he said $980 for parking at the Princess Margaret facility. And when he checked with his accountant, like, he had an argument with his accountant, and his accountant's saying like he can't even claim that, like, at tax time, because in order to claim your parking for that kind of medical expense, you need to drive more than 80 kilometers to go to the facility, and he only drove 68 kilometers to go to the facility when he went there. So,
Jesus fuck Christ.
Yeah. And
that's
how
bullshit.
stupid is that?
The company that owns the parking lot at the Princess Margaret Hospital is Ontario Power Generation. So
Ontario Power Generation, is that their policy that doesn't allow that, or
no, that would be government
or is it
policy, but
government policy?
Yeah.
So state of Ontario policy.
It's a common thing at hospitals in Ontario to have paid for parking, even though you get the free. I've got a button for that.
I'm
it's
just
locked.
asking.
What's
So
my
it's a state of
Free.
Ontario. State of
Parking.
Ontario thing. State of Ontario thing, because I mean
it's federal tax code.
I mean, I
It's
don't know.
the federal tax code, but the hospitals in Ontario generally you have to pay for parking because free healthcare or something.
Yeah, but more cancer stories. Like even a week ago, he went and got some blood work done. Like he had to pay $200 to get his blood work done. So like, it's just like this free healthcare that so many Canadians pound their chest and puff their chest out about. Like it's just
except when you actually need it.
Yeah, if you know someone
pay.
who's really gone through the system, they might have a different opinion. So
yeah, I mean,
and just remember, basically 40% of every tax dollar you pay is going towards healthcare in this country.
I thought it was 50. I think it's 50.1. It's just over 50.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look into that, but I mean,
Either way, it's still a depressing number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just very
Yeah.
black pilling. So, what do we got? Some news articles we can talk about, or
Yeah, I don't think those are any less black pilling.
well, I need to get ironic. I need to get ironic because this shit. I'm alone in a hotel room. I'm gonna go outside and
Let's
just
finish
sit
this
down.
one off first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
One thing I want to
So
it's a great. It's interesting to hear him say, that he couldn't get friends to come out because of how gun owners are portrayed, and that's one of the things that bothers me is you go to an event like this and you really get to see what the character of gun owners are.
Oh yeah. Well, his buddy Trevor is a believer now. Like he's just like him and Scott were just blown away. It was funny. He told me a story when I finally.
How we're portrayed, the best of our society being treated so shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, gun people are the best people.
Really, because their virtue and values like stand above everybody else. When you really think about it, there's no other argument.
And I don't even think it's by process of elimination through selection in the firearms licensing. I think it's for some reason I like a lot of the people like, and I would say that's because just like my friends shoot, like all my great friends and like Scott and some other guys like you know what I mean? Like it's almost like they're great people and they seek like firearms ownerships. Like, because I don't believe it's a selection process. Like, I don't believe, that it's that kind of a statistic. But anyway, when I finally we were putting out a bunch of little fires between 8:30 and 9, and I looked up and there was Scott and his friend were kind of walking, and he had this smile, and I kind of walked up to him and he goes, yeah, we pulled on here, and Trevor said, how are you going to find Tim? And I said, oh, that'll be easy. He'll be the guy with the beard and the camouflage.
Little did he know. Little did he know.
Oh, shit. It's like, everyone here has a beard and camouflage.
Except Marty, because Marty has to be different.
Well, Marty has a
Marty doesn't
type of
read the memos
camouflage.
about the dress code.
Yeah.
No.
His camouflage is like real tree or
Finds
whatever
it
that
cool
shit
to
is.
be coordinated. Nails.
Hey, whatever. You're just jealous. We look good.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Uh-huh. All right. Tim, would you like to do your last, I think, official match directorly duty and announce the dollar value?
I think we're going to announce the dollar value, and I would like Gavin to run through and thank the sponsors once more time, because they were also part of it. And I would like to thank I'd like to thank Guelph Rod and Gun Club. I'd like to thank all you guys and Jeff and Tyler and like Rachel, the registration ladies, everyone who like made it helped it roll along and happen. So we raised $2,295 for Scott. So
It's awesome.
Pay for some
definitely, yeah. I mean, all the admin table people and all the people that we roped in last minute, like Matt to help out, and Don who stuck around, and like Eileen and Everton and that like whole group of people that like stuck around, like even though they didn't have to, they stuck around and helped us clean up and all of that. Like that was amazing. They didn't need to do that, but they did.
Yeah.
Which is what's so awesome about the firearms community. It's like the way we all get together. Obviously, Scott wasn't at the plate rack when Andrew was there, which is why he made that comment that nobody has egos. But we are still good people. And but no, for real. Big thanks to our sponsors, Ragnarok Tactical. Obviously, we roped into this. We made Andrew do it. Great Fox Strategic, Wardall, Titan Tactical, TDSA, Land Shooting Supplies, Firearms Outlet Canada, my lovely girlfriend's store, Fresh Collective, Select Shooting Supplies, Matador Arms, and Exfil Apparel. Thank you all, because without you guys, that would not have been possible at all. Nobody would have come out to just see us drunks on the range unless there was some cool prizes they could have won. So,
But that one old dude, I think, would have come out.
yeah.
Oh wait, that's
Yeah,
me.
well, yeah, that guy's at everything, anyways. Maybe next year's cancer charity shoot should be a cowboy action shoot only.
There we go. And I
That'd
learned
be
Just to
cool.
get the old
Hard
guys out.
no.
Yeah.
But if we do it, we could just not invite one person. How do you feel about it now?
I'll
Wish
come,
you
up,
weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
I'll come up there and my character's name will be Rooster.
All right. We also have people in the YouTube chat. If you want to join us live Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, until whenever I pass out from all the alcohol. Dawn, who was at the shoot, says that the food was damn good. Josh, that was at the shoot, says best burger upgrade ever. Then Victory says the burger with the pulled pork and Carolina sauce. So beautiful you could weep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of feedback about the food.
Event.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone else
we-
they give a shit about the rest of it, but
Dawn also says the door breach was epic. Angela says she was there. And Godlike says Trevor shot so well all day that I wouldn't believe he was a new shooter.
I think he was a RCMP plant.
probably.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there was a couple of people that were like, "Oh, I don't know about pistols," and I'm like explaining it. I'm like, "Okay, so you pick it up, you put the magazine in it, you pull the trigger. Like, this is how sights work. It's easy." And like the one guy did that, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know. I've never shot a pistol before." And he goes 4 for 4 on his like picks it up, loads it, and he goes for the first 4. And I'm like, "Fucking sandbagger!" And then he dropped like 6 shots. So just beginner's luck.
He's trying
That'll
to figure
happen.
out what a sandbagger was.
Takes you a few shots to develop
You
that
said
flinch.
sandbagger, right?
Oh, you didn't say sand. Never mind.
Another couple of notes. I was saying I wasn't pronouncing Ellerton's name right. Turns out it's not. It's not.
His
Ellerton.
name still isn't Ellerton.
No, but I was calling him Ellerton, and it's wrong. Sorry, Ellerton.
Are you talking about these news articles at all, or?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
saw the guy on Facebook. I swear to God, it was 2 L's, but it's not 2 L's. It's not Ellerton at all.
I mean, I don't give a shit. It's not my podcast, you know.
No,
And,
we'll get to it, 'cause I think this will be a
about it.
good news article. But
Because we talked about that's the big news. Is I learned how to say Ellerton's name correctly. So
no.
because-
You know what the big news is?
Mhm.
We figured out what's behind that door at the Shakespeare's Arms.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Well, what would that be? Now I want to hear this shit.
This is the hidden room in the
Yeah.
basement of the Shakespeare Arms. That
Yeah.
was
I-
the
I-
air. The
yeah,
air was
yeah.
going into it before. Because the last time we were there in July. And Matt, Canada Matt, what did you
Not
what
drunk
did you
American Matt. Yeah.
what did you
Well,
find?
Yeah.
I think it's still a conspiracy, really. But when
I
I went
agree.
down
I
there, there was
agree,
a
but
bunch
we haven't talked, and I want to know. I wanted your take on it.
Let me get
to
my tinfoil hat.
It looked like a liberal conspiracy to make the friggin' frogs gay still going on down there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Fair.
it was just a party room, which makes no sense when the place doesn't take reservations to have a secret party room.
Why would the air go in?
I don't get
That
it.
means there's got to be HVAC system.
The
down there.
The Illuminati have to meet somewhere, guys.
But this is what got me. You said here. The room is. You said the room is open. So I like pushed. There was like some lady there. I pushed her out of the way, and like we ran down the stairs
Just like
into that
get
room.
the fuck out of my way, lady.
And because shit's going on, and like I pushed
Yeah.
this woman out of the way, and like and she was like she was like my hip, and I was like I had no time for that. And we go
I'm falling and I
downstairs,
can't get.
and like I peek around the corner, and there's a whole bunch of people, and they all turn and look at me, and I'm just like, but you know what I noticed? There was that brunette woman in there, the same crisis actor from Aurora, Sandy Hook, and so like they staged it. They
And she
wanted
had
it
a
to.
jersey on too, which
Okay,
is
hang on a second, Tim.
Wait, what?
Did you
What?
say did you say that the room was open?
And there was a
Yeah,
table.
As in the open society?
No.
George fucking Soros.
Boom. There it is.
Oh my God! This goes all the way to the top.
You know what? He may have actually been there.
Little did they
Now that
know.
I think about it, yeah.
Little did they know that when I have
Now we know. Hey,
when I have two
now we
pitchers
know
of
who
beer,
called
that I have
cops.
photographic memory.
they try. If everybody notices though, they gave us our bills before we noticed this to try and make us leave.
That's true. They did come out and give us our bill, like the bills for the entire table before anyone even asked for them.
Yes.
Although, yeah.
So, since we mentioned it last episode, does anyone know if Eileen got to try Tyler's M&P with the trigger upgrade?
Ooh,
She
I know.
did say that
Ask
she had
me,
tweaked the trigger. Yeah, I asked her, but you'd cover it, Andrew. You'd know better. You got to tell your story about going to the range and the whole above your head nonsense.
Let's
That
all.
shit's funny.
Yeah. Andrew, you can take it from here because you know more about it than we do. So, like, if you just you start talking about that, then we'll get to the end of the story here.
Yeah.
Right, Gavin?
so Eileen dry fired Tyler's M&P 45 with the Apex trigger. The Apex trigger is apparently much better to dry fire than the not Apex trigger. Ta-da, the story.
Well, she did shoot him.
And
All right,
tonight
so we're
on
skipping
5
the-
o'clock news.
You keep doing that, you're gonna ruin your VCR tape.
We're skipping the Quebec religious neutrality thing because reasons.
That's
We'll come back to
we
that
don't need
when
to
I have
skip that.
time.
That's a good thing to talk about. I've got a thought on that.
We can't cover that and
Yeah.
anything else. Like
It starts with H and ends in I. Okay, what should we talk about?
first article from the National Post. Conservative leader is urged to help end Senate filibuster in never-ending national anthem lyrics change saga. So, as we've covered a long time ago in the podcast, like
This shit
over
again?
a year ago, this shit is apparently never ending. There was a motion by a Liberal MP to change the lyrics of O Canada from "On All Thy Sons' Command" to "In All of Us Command," which grammatically does not make sense, but point notwithstanding.
The timing's there,
This
and
is
I
not-
know because I write limericks.
This has
It's
now
true,
been
yes.
held up in Senate for over a year because the senators, I disagree with the Tory filibuster that the National Post is reporting on because that is not what a filibuster is.
I thought it was a
Correct.
They're not just talking in the Senate chambers forever. They just keep bringing the motion back to the floor,
I thought it was a
which
candy
is a
bar.
different thing. No, it's a floor.
Okay.
I thought it was an elbow room.
No, that's
I mean,
not the Senate. That's the House.
What is it?
Oh, right. I always get those things.
it's not a filibuster. It has a similar effect in that it's trying to.
I'm just saying the
on
misuse
the
of
end of
language
this-
by the National Post is
Okay.
infuriating.
What is it when you elbow a woman in the tit?
Equality,
Feminism.
gender equality.
Okay.
It's feminism.
It's a he for she feminist.
I doubt that's
Is that like a
according to
gym?
Francis
Yeah.
Lankin. Have seen this picture of Francis Lankin appearing before Toronto Sun editorial board? I doubt she would take a elbow in the tit as a accident. She would probably try to send you to the death penalty with a lethal injection. My opinion.
Well, we don't have,
Have you
that
seen
here.
Have you seen her
Liberals.
picture? Have you seen her
Yes.
picture?
I try not to look at photos of liberals.
Yeah, that'll make your dick shrivel.
They make my penis soft.
So
This
the
here.
opposition, or I guess it's not the opposition because it's the Liberals and the NDPs are claiming that this is a Tory senators that are filibustering, incorrect use of the English language, National Post, filibustering the motion to change the wording in "O Canada," and this crap's been held up in Senate for over a year now.
Well, there you go.
All right, then.
I don't know.
All right. Also from the
I
National
don't know if you
Post.
cut out there. Are we talking about this or
I don't know. I heard nothing for several seconds. I assumed it was
no?
no.
Yep.
You
You
cut
don't
out.
mind?
That's why.
Yeah.
So
Oh well, I don't know.
I
I'll
think
fix it in
first,
post. Whatever.
I'm trying to look for the quote right now, but the National Post is not loading for me right now. But basically, what I found interesting was the tactic. Scheer didn't sort of cuck to their will. That he was automatically, anti-feminism and anti-equal rights, or they made some sort of a bullshit comment like that. Like, if you don't agree to changing the words of the national anthem that have existed for so many years, then you're, a misogynist or whatever.
Well, clearly. I mean,
It's not like he doesn't want. He's not saying let's just not waste time on something that makes no sense to waste time on.
yeah.
No, but honestly, I'm fine with them saying stopping this from going through because this is a dumb change. This makes no sense to make this change whatsoever.
I mean, I would agree with that.
Why are we changing our national anthem over this bullshit?
Are we changing it in French?
Because the feels, though, man, the feels.
All right,
They're
where
worth
is it?
spending for, right?
It just loaded for me now. Let me find the quote from them.
I mean, we're gonna grow the economy from the heart outward by spending all the money. That's what we're doing, and if part of that means we got to spend a shitload of money to re-record like the Nylons version of the national anthem, which was the best one growing up in school, we're gonna do that.
Okay, so here's the quote. If he doesn't agree to end the filibuster, he'll be perpetuating gender inequality.
Oh, where's?
That's some harsh words, man.
There we go. That's what I was trying to get to.
That's
I can get a page up. But yeah, that is such a bullshit tactic to take. If you don't agree with us lockstep, you're a Nazi. That's
Well,
basically
Everything is.
Well, of course.
Last week,
I mean,
everything was white supremacy. This week, everything is the patriarchy.
Oh, we're back on that?
We were never
I don't
not.
think we ever left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're white supremacist, you're also a patriarchist. Yeah, no, the whole thing is ridiculous. Like, I mean, there's some historical context and everything in the national anthem. It's fine for 150 years. Now all of a sudden there's an issue with it.
because it's just finally it's the current year.
Well, it only took him like 3 years to catch
Yeah,
up.
well,
I thought it was because it was
the anthem is
2015.
the anthem. The anthem's the anthem. The flag's the flag. Like
The
just
flag is
deal with it.
stupid, and we should go back to the original one. The one that they put up in the 60s offends me deeply.
I agree.
And what they're doing to the
but,
anthem
like,
offends me equally.
So I agree with you, but just shut the fuck up about it. Just like it is what it is. It's been this way for 20 years, 30 years now. Move on. Deal with important stuff. Deal with stuff that can actually matter. This doesn't matter.
Like the economy?
Cut spending.
Yes. Exactly.
The budget will balance itself, though.
The budget will balance itself.
Oh my God.
oh
It's
my fucking Christ.
It's liberal Matt.
There's an
It's
extra-
Courtney,
Matt.
you sounded like remarkably like Trudeau there.
Oh,
I think
this
liberal
is
Matt and liberal Tim need to hang out.
that reminds me.
Yeah.
I was sitting beside at the pub night. I was sitting beside Jeff without a J, like spelled with Geoff, and
Oh, Geoff, yeah.
Geoff, and he
Yeah.
said that
Isn't that Goff?
it used to be spelled with the proper way, but he said, "I'm not going to share a first letter with that goddamn prime minister," and he changed
Yeah.
it to Geoff and stopped wearing socks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Now,
I'm that
I'd be
close
more
to doing
impressed
that
if you
too.
push it to a hard G, though. Like, Goff.
Goff.
Well, I mean, maybe that'll happen soon. Like if he keeps going, down the road he's going, and eventually a lot of people will be like, I don't want to be associated with that substitute drama teacher. Hopefully. I mean, I certainly don't.
All right, let's do another one from the National Post. Other silly
Let's hear
things
it.
that upset the Canadian populace for a variety of reasons. New special New Special Forces uniform, a throwback to Second World War's Devil's Brigade. So, for anyone out there in podcast land, the Devil's Brigade, or the first Special Forces group, was a joint venture between the Canadian and American armies during the First World War. This is a regiment that was formed of elite Canadian soldiers and the ragtag misfit group of Americans that should have been in prison. And they went on to do great and amazing, wonderful things while invading Europe.
I think I've
probably
done some pretty great things while invading Europe.
Yeah. They were probably just bored, like me in high school.
There's probably a bunch of goys.
Okay, hang on a second. First, you guys complained the last time the Liberals were in power that they didn't issue new uniforms. Now you're complaining that they are issuing new uniforms?
So here's the thing. Reading through the comments, and I am torn about this because the new uniforms that have been issued are to replace the distinctive environmental uniform or the dress uniform, the uniform that is used for parades of members of CANSOFCOM, the Canadian Special Operations Command. Normally, the distinctive environmental uniform is...
Is it me, or does that sound like that should be something that you wear when you're actually like, on the job, like actively doing the military thing, distinctive environmental uniform, as opposed to like I'm marching in a parade? Like I'm just
So
saying,
what you're
that's such
saying
a
is
really
that this
weird
is
name
slightly different. This is slightly different than sending soldiers to the desert wearing relish.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
And while I am all for CANSOFCOM having a distinctive uniform to go along with their distinctive headdress, I really don't feel that issuing new uniforms is a good use of tax dollars when we could be giving people at the pointy end better equipment to kill terrorists with.
Exactly.
Because whether the Liberal government likes to admit it or not, the mission of CANSOFCOM is to destroy people. They go to terrible places and they kill terrible people. How
No,
they
they
look
don't.
on parade is...
They go there as some sort of consultant, and if those other people happen to kill people, well, under the guidance of, whatever.
All right, can we all agree though that the new uniforms do look awesome?
Oh, the new uniforms are super badass. Bloused jump boots, tan berets with like the dark green jacket and the tan pants. Yes. I'm sorry,
no,
what's
they
the
look
question,
good.
Matt?
Oh no, just the blouse jump boots. I have buddies that are like that. That was like such a huge thing for them. I was never did any army stuff, but I remember that was a big thing. The blouse jump boots.
Well, that's going to bring back boot blousers as a new hot commodity, I think, amongst the hipster crowd.
I somehow
Which is
doubt
gonna-
that.
Oh, do you?
I don't at all. That's going to be a thing. I'm calling it right now.
Well, I mean,
All right, we've got
you know,
another article from the
what's-
CBC.
we're looking
The
at
Auditor
here-
General blasts Kathleen Wynne's fair hydro plan. The Liberals improperly keeping hydro plan debt off government books, says special report by Bonnie Lissick, who's the Auditor General for Ontario.
I'm on CBC's website.
Well, who the fuck knows? man?
Yeah, well, you're gonna get computer aids now, Tim.
Total computer aids is going to happen.
Super AIDS.
All right, so hang on a second. Are you saying the Liberals are lying?
Yes.
But it's all for the good of it.
Yeah.
I find this hard to believe. I mean,
Yeah. In as many words, yes.
Yeah.
When haven't they? How's that? Is that a better way to put it?
all right. All right, let me. I gotta Google this. I can't. Nothing's coming up the top of my head.
Do you have a question about liberals? Because I'm the most liberal. Everyone says, "Oh, here comes liberal."
There's
Dan."
liberals.
When were the Liberals not lying? I'm drawing a blank.
When their
myself.
lips aren't moving.
Yeah.
Google has got nothing.
Let's find the
There is no answer on Google for when they're not lying.
Oh my God! You broke Google.
the last time I can answer either.
Hang on a second. Let me ask Jeeve.
Does that place even still exist? Now,
I have no idea.
next thing I know, you're gonna use web crawler or something like.
Who are you asking? That's like pedophile shit. I feel like we need to protect you from the NSA with all that shit. That's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the dark web to ask questions, man. That could lead you down a really, really horrible path.
Let me
Especially
see
if
what,
it's about
let me see what
liberals.
4chan has on this one.
That's Jeeves. UK ask.
All right, we have no rapid fire feedback this week. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do that by sending an email to feedback@canadianpatriotpodcast.com. Let us know how we've offended you. Or if you'd like to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, reviews on iTunes helps us find new listeners.
We've probably offended
Gavin,
you.
where can everybody find you if they want to stay in touch with you on the internet?
The best
Awesome.
place
Marty,
to
where
find
can
me?
people find the show?
Same place
Matt,
as
you have a
always.
podcast. It's International Liberty or Death. Other Matt, where can people find you on the internet?
Just on Facebook.
Cool.
Hold on.
Tim, where can everybody find you?
You can find me
wasn't
at
done.
timsgoodtshirts.ca or facebook.com/timsgoodtshirts.
I
We
have
need
to
your help.
apologize to the
Support
Coalition
the
for Canadian Firearms Rights, and I'd like to remind all our listeners that you are the true North, strong and free.